Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from where you are watching or listening from. It's me again, Tunchi Badamosi is my name, and your regular financial uh, educator and financial coach. I just want to say something about investment again, as usual. But today, I want to talk about how you can invest in a global company with a low risk of investment. What did I mean by this? Now, in my previous videos, I've spoke about how you can invest in stock and shares, like buying individual stocks of global companies like that of Meta, like that of Amazon and the likes, Apple stocks and the likes. Those are examples of global company stock and shares. Now, you will agree with me that stocks has its own risk as well, and it can go up and it can come down. But as an investor, that is what makes you different from being an investor compared to someone who is trading. We are an investor, we are not a trader. Okay, we are not trading on that. Now, how do you invest your money in a low risk index fund and you still be participating in all of these global companies? And that is why something we call S&P 500. And what is S&P 500? S&P 500 consists of top 5 companies in the US. Top 500 companies, I beg your pardon. Top 500 companies in the US. And what are these companies? It's a sample of them is Apple, Amazon, Microsoft, Alpha Beta, that is Google. We have Uber, we have eBay, a lot of them. So it consists of 500 multinational companies that dwell in the US. Now, and that is why they call them S&P 500. And how does S&P 500 works? S&P 500 works, I'll use a football table or the English Premier League table to explain this. You know, in the English Premier League, we have 20 football teams, and we have the top 3 of the top 4 that used to compete for the Champions League, and we have the one at the bottom that will relegate down to the Championship for the Division 2 of the English Premier League. That is how it works. It works in the sense that the performance of those companies will determine your return. What do I mean by this? If you invest $1,000, for instance, in an S&P 500, automatically you are investing in 500 companies that are under S&P 500. So the stockbrokers platform you are using, I'm still going to share with us some stockbrokers platform we can use in the UK, in Europe, and Nigeria and Africa in my other videos. So now, if you are investing $1,000, for instance, in an S&P 500, like I said, automatically you are you become a shareholders of those 500 companies, and your $1,000 will automatically be spread across the 500 companies. So that is why I call it a low risk index fund that you can invest in. Okay, and S&P 500 has proven since the existence in the 50s, in the 1957 that it has been existing, it has proven that without inflation, if there is no global inflation, although there will still be inflation, but if the inflation is not on the high side, if there is no global war, if there is no pandemic like we have in the COVID-19 pandemic in years back, so it has proven that there is always a return rate of 10 to 11% of your investment on S&P 500 per annum. So that means if your total investment in S&P 500 at the end of the year is $5,000, $5,000 for instance, excuse me, $5,000 for instance, that means you're having a return of 10% of $5,000. That is about $500. It looks very small to you, right? But I tell you, keep going on that direction. You that can invest $5,000, following year you can increase it as you go. Now, if there is a global inflation, or there is pandemic, or there is war around the world or some part of the world, it's proving that the return rate might drop to as low as 6% of your total investment. And this is why I said it's a low risk. That is one of it. The second reason why I said it is a low risk is because it is not possible for all the 500 companies not to do well on a yearly basis. It is not possible. It's just like a Premier League table. So if there are 3 teams at the bottom of the Premier League level, if they are not doing well, they go to the Championship and others one comes up. That is how it operates. So your money is safe. You are investing in a low index fund, and you stand a chance to also get a return. So, and another reason for that is you are going to be receiving dividend from those 500 companies. Each time or any of those 500 companies pay their dividend, because you are holding their shares, because you are one of their shareholders, irrespective of any amount of unit of share that you have with them, they will pay you dividend. And you also be receiving dividend, and you also be gaining your profit. So look at that. If you can do that for yourself, do that for your children, investing for your children in S&P 500. I'll still be talking in my other videos about how you can also open a junior stock and share ISA, maybe S&P 500 for your children, irrespective of anywhere you are in the world. So look at this. There is an adage that said, a drop of water, they say it's what? It makes an oceans. Imagine you are dropping £100 or $100, or even if you are dropping 5,000 naira anywhere you are in the world, and you are dropping that weekly or monthly into and investing it in S&P 500, because you are investing in 500 companies. Automatically, you, in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years, in the next 15 years, you are going to be beating inflation, because your saving that you are putting in your saving account will not save you in the next 5-10 years. Because why? Inflation will have depreciated that you're saving. I'm not saying we should not save. We need to save, but we also need to put our money where we go to sleep and see how our money grows. Is that not good? Please consider that. You can do more research about S&P 500. If you have any question of how you can go about opening an S&P 500 in any country that you have, I will be more than happy to give a response to that. Just drop your comment, your question, your suggestion, advice on the comment section. All right?
Thank you so much. See you in my next video.